All right, eighth graders, we're back for another week. This week's Bob lesson, fresh out of the Mr. Flato counselor kitchen. This lesson is going to be called Find a Way, Not an Excuse. One of my favorite quotes, was finally able to incorporate it here. But first, let's be our best this week at HMS or virtually wherever we are. Let's be safe, let's be responsible, let's be respectful, let's be a learner. Good day, eighth grade HMS students. Mr. Flato here. Got a brand new Bob lesson for you today. This was a Bob lesson that was inspired over winter break. I was watching my favorite of the Rocky series, Rocky 4, and I had this idea about equating it to the pandemic and overcoming obstacles and overcoming circumstances. But before I get into it, I want to give you a little background because this movie was made when I was 4 years old, so I know a lot of you was a couple generations before you. But the Rocky series is based on Sylvester Stallone, an actor. He's an Italian American actor from Philadelphia, and in Rocky 4 specifically, it sets up in Rocky 3, where his good friend, former nemesis turned good friend Apollo Creed. Apollo is a newer movie that maybe some of you have seen that's been out in the movie theaters. It's been a few years, couple years, but that was actually Apollo's son, so it's all tied together. But Apollo Creed is his friend, and he ends up fighting this Russian boxer by the name of Ivan Drago. And Ivan Drago is like the head of Russia. He's their golden child. And anyways, in Rocky 3, it's a movie, but in Rocky 3, Apollo ends up dying in the boxing ring from this Russian guy. And so to um, in Rocky 4, to kind of in honor of his friend, he decides, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky decides, I'm going to fight this Russian guy. I'm going to fight him. I'm going to go to Russia. I'm going to fight him in Moscow, and I'm going to fight him on Christmas Day. And so he ends up in the movie, he ends up over in Russia training. And what I love about it, what gets me so fired up about these scenes I'm going to show you, is that this Russian guy has the top trainers, he has the top doctors, he has the top technology at the time, top equipment, top everything to enhance. He has basically to enhance his performance and his training. He has the perfect setup. Where Rocky goes and he's training in the snow, he's training on the hill, he's training throwing logs, and he's overcoming his circumstances. He is not finding, and the title of this is Find a Way, Not an Excuse. He's not finding an excuse. He's finding a way to train and get his work done. And that is kind of how I equate it to this pandemic. We are not in an ideal situation. We are all a bunch of Sylvester Stallones training right now in the Siberian forest in the winter, and I'm really encouraging all of us to overcome the obstacles, adapt to our environment, and be our best. So I'm going to show you these scenes, and then I'm going to try to tie it into what we can do here as HMS students. wow, that still gets me fired up and gets my competitive juices flowing a little bit. Hope you guys like those clips. So what can we learn from that? What can we take from that? Like I said in the intro or at the beginning, I feel like we're all forced to be out in the Siberian Russian forest right now doing what we can to train and to survive. Circumstances are definitely not ideal. A lot of us are only in school 2 days a week. In the physical building, some of us not at all. We're having to overcome this technology barrier. All of these things are not ideal, but it is what it is. And so I would hope that we could all adapt a growth mindset and continue to find a way to be successful and will ourselves to be successful instead of finding an excuse not to be. Because I'm going to tell you what, in life, there's always obstacles that we're going to run into. Some of us have already faced a lot of obstacles in our life, some of us not as many. All of us are facing this obstacle of this pandemic and what it's doing to us in our lives right now, and we're on like month 10 of it. And but life is always going to face you adversity you're always going to have to persevere through. Just like Rocky had to go adapt to his environment and find a way to train and get himself an optimal fitness level so that he could do the boxing match with Ivan Drago. So I'm encouraging you all to push through, encouraging you all to find a way, not an excuse. If you ever need help with finding that way, myself, Ms. Glucker, email us, your teachers. You got a ton of adults here that care about you. And the one life lesson that I hope you all take from this, and again, one of my favorite quotes, and the title of this Bob lesson is Find a Way, Not an Excuse. Hope you all have a great week.
Champion. The two men are walking toward the center of the ring. It's an unbelievable sight to see. They're toe-to-toe. The Russian towers above the American. It's a true case of David and Goliath here. It's unbelievable, the condition of both men, but the Russian champion...
I must break you.
Ivan Drago wa
You know what it says back there about wanna be you? Yeah. Forget it. Hey, boy.
So you're probably asking yourself, who won the fight? Was it Ivan Drago or was it Rocky? You'll have to go watch the movie and see.